G'day guys, welcome to another Tuesday night in the man cave. Okay, so tonight it's going to be a whole heap of footage that's been over the last couple of days. And I think that's how I'm going to do these now, is as just throughout the week I'll just get bits and pieces of footage to be able to do it on the Tuesday. Because it's just too hard trying to do everything on the Tuesday night. I end up going into the bloody early hours of the night doing it. So tonight you're going to see footage of Max, his kickstand pad that I made. It actually started rubbing on the swing arm. I've worked out, I've worked out why that's happening. So I'll show you what I've done. I've actually just shaved off some extra. But if somebody wants to do that, it'll be good to see why I didn't see it to start with. Anyway, you'll see it when it comes up. The other thing was Max's chain cover, so the chain guard that goes over the top of the chain, just that plastic one, that's actually cracked nearly all the way through on one of the mounts. And I think what happened was when we were at Little Desert and when I come off in the water, why I come off in the water is because I was obviously on the side, and then my front wheel went into the four-wheel drive rut, which then toppled me over. But because it was in and there was a curved, as it's leaned over, that plastic guard has been crushed on it and has snapped it. So I try to fix that, and then that fails, and then I've finally made a mount that I think is going to hold up anyway. So you'll see that footage as well. You'll see footage of me getting you can see the red thing over there. That's the new helmet. So I've got footage of just that when it turned up, and after you watch all this other footage, I'll actually do a quick little review just to look at it, and then later in the filming thing I'll do a bit more with the whole sound and the microphones and all that kind of stuff. I bug it up too, which I'll tell you about when I ordered it, but anyway. What else have we got? The tarp. So the tarp, I'll learn a little bit more with the tarp setup when I was out at Little Desert. So you'll see footage of me trying to do it a different way, which doesn't work very well, and so I've gone back to the original way that I've had it, and the way that it wasn't the original way that I had it, because the original way was the bike could have fallen on me, but now I have it in such a way that the bike can't fall on me, which is the way I had it out at Little Desert. But I've made a few little modifications to help. Anyway, you'll see all that as well. We've got a useless tip for the whippersnappers. Geez, I'm starting to struggle to work out what to do for that. So I've got it's just a matches thing. It's useless. There you go. Typical useless. All right. Anyway, get into it. Here's the first stuff. So I've been doing a bit of a clean up on Max after that desert ride. So he's had a whole wash and all that kind of stuff, and I found a couple of problems. My first problem is this. So that foot stand that I made, or the extra pad, has actually scuffed it. When I first did it, it had clearance, and someone said about it rubbing. And I think what I've worked out is that I've got this up on the jack. Now when this bike is obviously sitting down on the ground normally, when this kickstand comes, it doesn't actually sit like that. It's different. But what was happening is when it's like this was actually touching on there. So what I'm thinking is, obviously as the suspension's coming up and down, it was actually touching and rubbing, and it's actually made a mark on there. So I'm going to get a bit of polishing stuff to polish that out. Nay's got herself a new little sticker machine, so I might get her to make me a new O. But yeah, so there you go. My other problem was over here on my guard. So this is the chain guard that sits over there. You can see there's a crack that runs all the way through there, and it's actually one part of it there. Sorry guys, it's hanging on by just a small piece there. That's what's holding it on. So I'm going to clean this up and see if I can do a dodgy backyard fix. I know people will most probably say, oh, you should get the those aluminium or metal bloody ones. I don't like them. They're I know they're a bit clunky looking, and I like the black. I don't like having the silver and silver. I don't know, but there you go. Cool. That just gives me some more bits and pieces to play around in the man cave. All right, guys. I just thought I'd get Nay to hold this camera, and I'm going to release the bike so it comes off the stand and the suspension, and see what actually happens to that kickstand. Why is it not going down?
Because you're locked in.
I've got the safety on. Hang on. Alright, here we go. Down. Down. There you go. So obviously, I've already cut this away more. So I would say as the suspension was coming up like that, this was actually getting close to this. So there you go. If you're doing this, check it with a jack stand under it and have the compression up to make sure. Cool. So it's the next morning and I'm just checking out my handiwork. So I've got some epoxy stuff and I've just covered all that crack that was through there. Did all that on that side. I reckon it's done a bloody good job. That epoxy stuff's fantastic. So now I'll get out my black texture and I'll just colour that grey in and I'll whack her on. Alright, so I've put this on. Look at that, works bloody great. Until you tighten down the bloody bolt and it's just snapped. It's just all broken again. Oh well, I'll just have to buy a new one. Alright guys, so I'm not going to buy a new one. I've had a bit of a look around and I'm just not happy with those aluminium ones. So what I'm doing now is I thought, bugger it. I've cleaned up all that crap off out of there and off there. And what I've done is I've got some box tubing, that was box tubing, and I've cut these pieces. Now I've had other aluminium stuff but they were too thick. Must be bloody phone ringing, hang on. Alright guys, sorry about that. Okay, so what I've done is to shape these a little bit. This is going to sit on the back side, and then this other one will go on the other side of that, and hopefully what that's going to do is clamp down on it over that crack. So the worst case scenario, it's just going to hold it in place. So there you go, another Mark's dodgy fix-it in the bloody backyard. So I'll put all this together and we'll see how it looks. Actually guys, I'll just quickly show you, I've super glued those two bits of metal pieces on there. It'll just make it easy for taking on and off. I don't know whether the super glue will last, but we'll see. Alright, let's whack this on and see what happens. Oh, bastard. This is what happens when I've got you guys in the way. I'm all arse about. I'll put an extra washer on this one. I thought it might be a bit of preventative work if this one decides it wants to bust. Oh, I reckon that's pretty bloody good actually. I reckon that'll do the job anyway. Well, there you go guys, that's a done deal. I've saved myself 80 bucks. I've had a bit of fun creating it. I don't think it looks too bad. Obviously if it holds up, so nice and solid. Yeah, I've got, obviously you have always had that movement there, but down here, that's really solid. So even if, I don't know, that's going to do it. That's going to do the bloody trick. Just go around and have a look. Where are we? In there somewhere. Cool, I'm happy with it. I'm now going to go have a shower and get ready for the day. Look what came in the mail this morning. Boogie, I've got a new helmet and you don't even care. Alright, I'm a little bit more excited than the bloody dog. What I'm going to just quickly show you is I slept in the backyard again bloody last night, and I'll show you why. So I'm trying out a new way of using the tarp. If you've seen the previous video, which was at Little Desert, I had it set up differently. I thought I was going to try it like this. The problem that I had at Little Desert was that it got windy overnight, and it was a bit like a funnel. So I'm giving this a shot. It was a bit of a fail, but it was my fault because I didn't put the stakes in when we were mucking around with it. I forgot to redo all the stakes properly, and I had the dog jumping on top of the bloody tarp, and ended up with condensation all around my bloody head because the tarp was hanging all over me. But you get that when you're trying stuff out. So I might try again tonight. Anyway, back to the helmet. Alright, I haven't opened this yet. Let's see what happens. Oh, look at that. Get out of town. I have never had a helmet that has got its own bag. That's crazy. Those gloves I was telling you about. Sticker. Gotta love a sticker. Da, 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 da. Booyah! Hey, that looks alright. Geez, it feels pretty bloody light too. Alright guys, so I won't go too much further with this, but I will try the bloody helmet on. Oh man, that's a really good fit. It feels a bit tight, but only in the cushion part, and as we know, those cushions will loosen up, and that's going to be a really good fit. That's a medium helmet. Alright, that's it. I'll have a video coming out, and I'll kind of go through all the bits and pieces on it. Alright guys, I'm going to give you a rundown of the tarp. Now I've tried lots of different ways. The whole idea of the tarp for me is to not have strings, not have poles, not have to rely on trees to put it up. I wanted it so that all I had to do was put pegs and then basically attach it with a gotcha strap to the handlebars, which creates the pitch up, and that's it. So it becomes very, very lightweight, very, very simple to put up, takes no time to put up and pull down, which I'll show you, and I'll show you how well it packs down and what weight it ends up being. But as I said, I've tried lots of different ways, as you saw a little bit earlier. I wasn't happy with that. This, I think, is the best way. I'll just give you a look around and just explain some of those points. So the number one point is having it so that where I'm sleeping, which is over there, that is nowhere near that bike. If that bike was to fall over, that's not going to hit me at all. Now, if the wind was to pick up and come in from this way through there and start lifting that up, there's no way that bike would have to endo up and over to actually land on me. So from a safety point, I reckon I've got that pretty well done, and that is, I'll just show you, it just is not a hope in hell I could pull that over. So it gives you a nice pitch, so you've got plenty of, like, if there's water, it's going to run straight off, not catch anywhere, which with that last one that I did, I had too many points that if it rained, it was going to come in on me. Inside, which you've seen before, so it's not a lot of headroom. I'll hop in there in a minute and show you. But yeah, you've got plenty of room to be putting heaps of bits and pieces in there. But yeah, not a lot of headroom when you get down further that way. So what I've done here with these, what I use, I'll just pull that up. These stakes are actually Halinox stakes. They're really super light, and apparently they're really, really hard to bend. I've bashed on these plenty of times and they're really good. But the problem that I had was that they're not like the normal hook, which comes out, and then we'll grab that. So when this is flapping up and down, it would easily come off this, but I've now just fixed it by using these little carabiners that we sell. So I've just looped it like that. So the carabiner will stay with the peg, and then I just loop that onto there. And if I can change hands, it goes in there like that. Easy as. Now, and those carabiners are really, really lightweight as well. They're not climbing ones. So I've basically done that on all of them. So currently with that configuration and those pegs the way they are, I don't think I'd have too much problems with that being worked out. It's only when you're in the sand. I've got sand pegs, and my sand pegs have a little hole which I've already worked out that the carabiner will go through, and I can change over. So what I do is I carry the sand pegs, and I carry those little metal ones for driving into hard ground, and if I'm in sand I then use the plastic ones. Alright, so the next thing is, how do I alleviate, say if I happen to position myself and the wind changes and the wind is coming from that coming straight through, which is what happened to me. I've now worked out that I can simply lessen that effect. So all I've got to do is, once I'm in the tent, I just pull that in that way, and the other side. So essentially all I'm doing is just lessening the open. So obviously there's still going to be wind going in there, that's going to be flapping and all that, but it's just a less amount of volume going in and then making all the other stuff coming in and out. Most probably going over engineering or whatever, but I like dicking around, I suppose. Using the gotcha strap works really good, so that basically when I first set it up I just do it like that, and then if I need to I can tension it up like that. So that works really well. Right, so getting in and out of this thing, it's just a bit of a shuffle like that. And you're in, no worries at all. Basically this is the only bit of headroom that we've got. The rest of it goes down too quick. But that's where my feet are, so it doesn't really matter. I'll bring you in. Alright, so I've got my blue mat down, got the cedar summit, basically to go to sleep in it. Plenty of room for sleeping in. Obviously, if you want to be having a party, playing cards, you could cook. You could cook in this, no worries, while there's rain coming down. Obviously, if the rain's coming from that way and in, that'd be a bit of an issue. But there you go. Alright, what I'm going to do now is I'll just quickly pull this down, and then you'll be able to see how it packs down and the weight and all that kind of stuff. Alright, so very simple. Best thing to do is just release this. Like that, and then it's just a matter of pulling up all the pegs. And all I'm doing is unclipping that doodad off the tarp and then pulling the peg out. So that's all your pegs out. So that takes 7 pegs to peg that out. So I was saying about the sand pegs. So I'll just drop these in there. I'll grab one of these off. So if I want to use the sand peg, all I've got to do is basically I would first loop that through the tent, and then, oh, where are you? And then put that through there. Now this has a fairly decent hook, but just knowing the way that tarp will want to do that buffing, having that on there will make it so that it doesn't slip off. Now all we're going to do is fold her up. And this gotcha strap here that I use for tying it to the handlebar gets taken out. It's a bit like a tent. You got to push that air out of it to get it down tight. Around there like that. And then I just use that same gotcha strap to hunker that down. Now obviously as that air is going to come out of it, but that makes that really bloody compact. So what I'll do now is I'll get some scars, we'll weigh this and also the tent pegs. I won't weigh the that tarp, the blue tarp, because I would normally have that with the tent as well, and it's like, it weighs nothing, it's so feather light. Alright, we'll go in the man cave and we'll weigh this up. Alright, so I've got the electric scales. I'm just using that so I can put the stuff on. You can see that it's not resting on anywhere, so it's zeroed out. We'll grab the tarp, stick that on there. So that is 853 grams. Alright, so we'll put these tent pegs on, and that is 1099 grams, so just a smidge over 1 kilogram. So that's bloody lightweight. So I would only use this for doing that sand riding or going somewhere where I'm going to be doing a lot of hard stuff. That's what I do. Short of that, it's the tent for me. The tent has just got too many positives. So the other negative to the tarp is obviously mosquitoes. We had mosquitoes at Little Desert. I'm not sure whether they were the biting type, they were more the larger ones. But I just used some spray. I slept the whole night without hearing a mosquito at all, so I was pretty happy with that. So there you go. Alright guys, so a useless tip for the whippersnappers. What I've got here this is waterproof matches, and I've got wind and waterproof matches. Now these are most probably cheap, bloody crappy brand, but the whole idea of this is be wary of what you buy. So I bought these ages ago. I just bought them as just for a bit of bloody mucking around. So this set here is just the windproof ones. So we want to light a fire. That's the first problem, is they just break. Oh, that actually worked. I don't know, I blew that out pretty easy. Oh no, this is only waterproof, sorry, that wasn't the windproof. Oh fuck. See? Obviously not. Oh. Oh well, they're working okay now. I'm sure they were really hard to do. Alright, well that's not too bad. Now this is the windproof and waterproof. Now these are a bastard. Jesus. Whoa. So they are windproof, and they obviously will be waterproof, but I tell you what, they're bloody hard to light. I was amazed at how hard that was to light. They seem to, I don't know, they might have aged a little bit better. Come on. Go, 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 go. Oh, yeah, there you go. I don't know, they just seem pretty bloody useless when you can do this. Modern man, white man magic. I know these can get wet, or you could leave them, you know, they could get stuck like that and all the gas escapes or whatever, but you can do simple things by putting a zip tie in between through there, which stops that. We have first aid kits that actually we have the survival kits where we have the little mini big lighter, where we have these little mini big. Actually, what I'll do is I'll go and grab it for you. I've got it over here. This is most probably not turning into a useless tips for the whippersnapper, but me and Nay made up these doodads. I'll take them out of this. One's a first aid kit, and another one is a first aid and survival kit. So that one there is your motorcycle survival kit. And this one is just a first aid kit, like that. So in the survival kit, when we open this up, over there, open that up. I'll most probably, I've got to do a video on these, but in that we have, and you can see that's the mini lighter. So you can't, this can't accidentally be pressed down to let all the gas out, so you're always going to have gas in that. So the other thing, so what I was saying is, yeah, they can get wet, but it doesn't take much for them to dry out. And if you're going to have this for lighting, you know, you put it in somewhere that's not going to get wet. So there you go. Crazy. Yeah, these things are cool. We've got all little fishing bloody gear and compasses and torches and knives and bloody multi-tools, and oh, the list goes bloody on. So I've got to actually do a video on that. I've just been so waylaid. Anyway, I'll shut up now. So basically this this useless tip for the whippersnapper, I'm carrying on now. Watch out for these. Maybe get the really good kind. But they did actually work better than what they have before. So anyway, there you go. Crazy. Alright, so I want to do a quick status update on these safari tank stickers. Now it's been 1 week. Now I'm just going to try and see. So this side that we're looking at does not have the perforation, so it's just a straight sticker. So you can see it's already got heaps of bubbles on there, but the sticker is still being held on. It hasn't come off. Hopefully, yeah, there you go. That's showing it a bit more. So the one down here, the surprising thing is that the one down the bottom, although it is doing it a lot more now, the one up the top bubbled up a whole lot quicker than the one down the bottom where all the petrol is sitting. So I'm not too sure. I did have the bike sitting out in the sun, so I don't know whether the sun going directly more on there than it would have been hitting down here may have paid something into that. Now on the other side, a very interesting thing is that it's doing the same thing, but whatever it is, the gas, so you can see that, you can see there's some bubble bits, but not as nearly as much as what the other side is. And the reason for that is that the if I was to push around on that, the gas has somewhere to escape. We've got that. Yeah, and then the one down here, hopefully we can get it, it's a bit dark down here. It's pretty much the same. It's a bit hard to see, but very much the same as the bottom one. I've got a couple of issues here coming off, and I think that was just me when I put it on. This is more, yeah, I've buggered up. It's not the actual fold of the sticker. That's how I bloody put it on. I was an idiot. But yeah, crazy. So that's the status. We'll just keep an eye on how it's going. Alright guys, so I've got the new helmet. It came with this fantastic bloody, this, I don't know, protection cover thing. But I can see through it, but I just don't think it's very practical. So I reckon I just got to get rid of this. And yeah, that's much better. That's a bloody stupid idea. I don't know who thought of that. Alright, let's get into having a look at this helmet. Alright guys, so this is the Bell MX-9 Adventure motorcycle helmet. It's the design of it, so all this fancy looking bloody, the graphic part of it, it's called Barricade. I actually wanted to buy just a matte black, but I actually stuffed up. When I was on the site, I was on there and I picked what I wanted. It was $289 and it was a medium helmet, and then I put that into my cart, and then I went off and I was looking at you know, these new gloves, and when I went back to go through the checkout, it came up saying, oops, sorry, we don't have it anymore. Obviously someone had gone through the checkout for a medium helmet, and it was the last one they had, and they got it over me. That'll teach me for dicking around on the bloody site. So that was alright. I thought, okay, I seen this one, it was the Barricade, and I went, that's cool. It's, you know, it's, because I like things fairly plain. So I went, no worries, they've got a medium, cool, grab it, get into the checkout, do it, all before it bloody runs out. Now the thing, while I was doing that, I went, shit, this is only $249. I'm going to save $40 by getting this one. And I thought it was really strange that the plain one was actually dearer than this one with the cool graphics on it. And this is where I stuffed up. As you can see, this doesn't have a bloody visor in it, and that's why it was cheaper. So they sell these with a visor or without the visor. I can actually go and buy a visor. I can get a visor off the site, but it's going to cost $89, so that's like $333. I've done myself out of $50 basically, because I'm a dickhead. But anyway, that's what happens. So yeah, got it, it's turned up. I've tried it on. I've been for a ride with it. What I'm going to have to do, I'll do a bit more testing, and I'll put all that in when I do the whole camera, all the microphone bullshit. What I've got to do is go for a ride with this on, immediately jump off the bike, chuck that helmet on, do the same ride, and then really try and get a difference between, just for the sound purpose. I think that's only going to be the only difference between the two, apart from the weight. This feels a whole lot lighter on my head than what my old helmet. Like, even just picking this up, I can feel the weight difference. So I'll chuck these on the weigher in a minute, just to tell you what the difference is. Obviously that's got the visor on it, so it's just a little bit, but this is definitely a lighter helmet, and I can really tell the difference on my head. What else have we got? The peak. This peak thing, it's got, these are really cool because you don't need a tool to take this peak off. So if you're going to do a whole lot of highway riding before you get to where you're bloody going to do your adventure bullshit or whatever, you can take that off and then just, you know, not having the bloody wind flicking it up and all that kind of shit. So that was a good thing. Everything else seems to be fairly much the same. The pads all just, you know, click out. The D-ring thing, that's all the same, exactly the same as that. One thing to note is that the vents, so all this venting here, there, the vents there, I don't think there's no venting on, oh hang on, yeah, there's some vent on either side there, and then the vents out the back. None of those vents can be closed off, they're just permanently open. When I took it for a ride, it didn't seem to be a problem. I didn't feel like I had gushes of air coming in, but obviously, you know, if you're early morning and it's really cold, well then you're going to start to feel it. Whereas, obviously I've got this all taped up, but the venting in here, I could turn that on and off. The venting up here was all, could be all turned on and off, so that was really good. But I never really used it because I have that always taped up, and I never ever really think to push that in. So for me, that's not a deal breaker. I will actually be taping all that up, and that's only because of the microphone that's going to be sitting in there. The vents up here, I could possibly, just put a bit of tape over those. I don't know whether I'll do that. I'll mostly leave that. That won't be a problem. So I've already gone ahead, and this is why I wanted to actually do this tonight instead of leaving it to do it in a whole separate bloody video. I want to start putting stickers on it. You'll see, I've already put the dual lock on there for the camera. I've been a bit smart. This time around, this helmet, I haven't had to build anything on there because it's a fairly straight curve on it. Like there's not like a major V or anything like that. Which you'll see, I had to build this one up to make the camera sit straight. So I've been really lucky with this helmet, not having to do it. And this time round too, I've made it so that I've just got a thin piece, and with me and Nay, I had the bike and I was sitting on it and had this on my helmet, on my head, using me little thing to line up the bloody camera. And basically I was doing that until we got it perfect. And then what Nay did, when we had it where we wanted it, she put tape just around so that when we took it off, we had to put this dual lock on. We knew exactly the angle that the camera needs to be on. So now I'm not going to have to worry about lining up anymore like I did with the other helmet. All I've got to do is line that up with that, make sure it's straight, and then pop that out on there, and I know, far out. Pop that on there like that, and I know that that's going to get a good view, not be too low or too high. So that's I'm pretty bloody happy about that too. Cool. So that's about it. The two helmets, pretty much. This just feels like it's a new, clean helmet. Definitely lighter on the head. The differences with the venting is of no bloody worry to me. We'll just weigh it now. Alright, so for this helmet, just remember that there is that extra peak on there, or the windshield. Chuck that on there. So that is it's 19, hopeless. It's 1,951 grams, so that's 1 kilo. It's nearly 2 kilograms in weight. Chuck this one on. Not touching anything. So that's 1,543 grams. So it's nearly half a kilo, lighter. And I tell you what, 450 grams. Less on your head makes a pretty big difference. So I'm pretty happy with that. A surprising thing, I'll just grab Nay's. We tried Nay's helmet on here. And this is just a shitty old bloody helmet. That is, what is it? 1,465. So this helmet's actually lighter than that one. Crazy, but obviously it's going to be a shittier construction. So that doesn't sound good. So this is Nay's helmet and it's not very good. But anyway, there you go. So there you go, guys. That's the helmet review so far. It really does feel comfortable. And I think once the cushion, I think it's already starting to squash up a little bit, so it's feeling even better. I'll put me goggles on. Where's my goggles? I noticed the goggles feel better on this helmet. For some reason they just feel like they sit in there better. I've still got air gap here, and I notice that I still have the air rushing down there straight onto my lips. but along here there's not as much gappage. Anyway, there you go. So that's the helmet. I'll do the turn around. Cool. Alright guys, so I hope you enjoyed this Tuesday night in the man cave. Hope you have a good week. Keep on riding.